Okay, let's start the chapter. Okay, the question is, how can Excel help you to plan a project? You plan a project and chart its progress. The formulas, chart, graph in Excel help you analyze, develop, and display the data needed for your project without having to make manual calculation. As you see. So in this one, we will see how can I sort and filter data? How can I tell the Excel what mathematical operation to perform? What are relative and absolute references? How can I create, modify, and position chart? What is the PMT function? And what vocabulary word should I review or remember? Now the question comes in here. First of all, to sort and filter data, use the sort A to Z bottom located on the ribbon here, A to Z. So the sort A to Z bottom arrange the numbers in increasing order or alphabetic orders. Now, you can also, to sort a decreasing numerical order, you're in the reverse alphabetic order, use Z to A. To see only the data you want to see, use the auto filter command to filter the worksheet. And to use auto filter, you must click on the cell in a range, in the range, or a group of cells that you want to filter. Now here you notice you can filter it according to the employees. Some worksheets contain much data that is difficult to understand. The data or chart the progress of the project. So much data is there, so you need to filter it. And it's easier to manage time and stick to a plan for a project if your chart your progress. And how you do that, being able to filter data so that you can see only information you need is helpful to see that you are getting the closer to your goal. So you can tell Excel which numbers to use and what mathematical operation to perform by creating a formula as you see in this cell. And every formula will with an equal sign and include values cell reference. You can edit the formula in the formula bar here, or you can correct by double clicking. You can also do that. You can also edit the formula by double clicking the cell that contains the formula. Now, there is, to save time, create formula by choosing a function or preset formulas from a list. There is a list No, learn these, the send, the max, the count, the hyperlink, the sum functions here. And after you have chosen the function you want, use, fill the correct numbers or the cell reference. So to copy a formula from a cell to cell, use a copy and paste. But when you do that, Excel will automatically modify the cell reference in the new formula so it's calculated correctly. So it does, change the cell references, and it's not going to be a constant cell the same cell. So that's what you call a relative references, is a cell reference that change when the formula is copied into a new location. That's what's the relative here. You notice here B3, and if you click in a different cell, it will relatively change. Now, a relative reference show how a formula is relatively to the data in a particular cell. In a formula moves, if the formula moves, the reference moves with it. Now, a relative reference is written with a column letter and the row number, such as B2, if you notice here, B2. So put it this way. Here you have B3 and D3. So when you move lower, copy this and move lower, it's not going to be B3 and D3, it's going to be B4, D4. Now, on the other hand, if you want to use only a constant, which is called absolute reference, does not change, means an absolute reference does not change when you copy the formula to a new location. And how you do that is like the percentage of the total sales brought by the literature, for example. How you do that, and it is an absolute references is a locked cell, in other words, that maintain a constant reference to the original cell when you copy and paste. So it's always going to be there, and you can use it for all the cells. It's not going to change. Use an absolute reference when more than one formula should refer to the same cell. And how you do that is by putting a $sign in the front of the number or the reference. To both of them. To write an absolute reference, place a $sign in the front of the both column and the letter row here. So you want to do, say, E12, E and 12 as an absolute reference. So you need to put $sign E, which is here, and a 12, and it's going to be a constant. It does not change. So the $sign lock the formula to the cell E12 to E12. Now let's do some academic check. Why is it important to check your progress toward a goal? It is easier to manage a project and stick to a plan if you chart your progress so you can see you are getting closer to your goal. How do you sort a number in increasing order in Excel? Use the sort A to Z bottom to sort the number in increasing order in Excel. And how you can create formulas in Excel. Create formula in Excel, key information into cell or a formula bar, or choose the preset formulas from list of the functions that are available. Now the issues here you also need to do a chart. A chart is a graphic that organizes the data visually. And using a graphic such as chart or a graph allows you to organize data so it can be evaluated at a glance. You can see here there is an increase in the burger sales. An upward line on the graph shows that the sale increasing, while downward line shows the sale are declining. So a chart group allows you to create a chart based on the data you're gonna select. And you find the chart is once again insert column chart, and you find this chart all there. You select them and you insert. Now, a common type of chart usually they use bar chart, column chart, line chart, and pie chart. Pie chart is used a lot. Now, to do that, you also need to use the chart tools to make the data easier for others to read or to make your point in it. And the chart tools, you find them here. It helps you to design, layout, and format the table tabs. You can change the look of the chart to highlight the sales trend, sales increase, or the decrease of a loan balance as a payment are made. Now you can use, as we said, in the chart type, the line. Another way of modifying the chart is to change the chart type. So give a cluster comment chart a completely different look by changing its chart type to, for example, a line or a bar or period. That's a bar chart. Use a bar chart to compare the item to each other one by one. But you can use different chart using the line chart to help you to compare the sales over time of each product, for example, books here and sandals. Now, you can move the chart in a different sheet. You don't need to keep it. And to avoid the clustering, a worksheet with the numbers and chart, put the data in the one sheet and move the company chart to another sheet is better in the same workbar. Now, formulas in Excel can help you to incorporate items like monthly payments, interest rate into a budget. And to create an effective budget, you need to know both your income, for example, or how much you can spend, and the expenses. Be sure to consider taxes, for example, interest rate, and another expenses. There's something called PMT, and the PMT function calculates the monthly payment for a loan using the amount of the loan, the interest rate involved in it, and the number of the payment that you're going to put in. And the PMT function is very useful if you want to create a budget, for example, or see your payment. And how you do it is the function through the function argument dialog box. With the help, you can calculate monthly loan with the PMT, and you can put the interest rate. How much is the interest rate? 0.5%, 0.05% over 12 months, and the MPR and the PV. But what's an MPR? Well, we know that the interest rate is the interest which is given, and MPR is the total number of the payment, 12 or 60 payment or whatever. And then you have the present value You can put the value, the present value in the A5 here. Now, when the result from PMT function are read and in parentheses, they can represent moved money owned on the loan, or you're in a negative. And in finance, negative amount are usually represented in parentheses and in a red color. Let's do some academic skill. What do you need to know to create an effective budget? You need to know both income and the expense to create an effective budget. Why is it sometimes better to present data in a graphic than a number or words? Using a graphic such as chart or graph allows you to organize data so it can be evaluated at the glance, making it easier to understand. Let's do some more academic skills. Check how a negative number usually represent in finance. In finance, negative numbers are usually represented in parentheses and in red. These two put together. What are some of more common types of charts? We have a bar chart, a column chart, a line chart, and a pie chart. What are some of the ways you can use to modify charts? You can use the chart tools to change the way the chart looks, or you can change the chart type. For example, from a bar chart to a line chart. A chart, let's do a vocabulary review. It's a graphic that organizes data visually so that you can compare different kind of data or evaluate how data change over time. Range, a group of cells. So it could be horizontal or vertical or all horizontal and vertical. Sort, to put a list of data in ascending or descending orders. It could be letters or numbers. Filter, a feature that allows you to use only the data you need. Relative reference, a cell reference that changes when a formula is copied to a new location, and we saw it earlier. Absolute reference is a cell reference that does not change when the formula is copied to a new location by putting the $sign in the front of the column and row reference. Function, a preset formula that is used to solve an equation. A PMT, a function that calculates the payment for a loan based on interest rate, number of payments, and the amount of loan. And that's it. Thank you.